सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जलजीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जीरा सिप MDH का जीरा सिप।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. And the nation's opinion today is that Trump is for Pakistan. Trump is beginning to sound like a member of Pakistan's armed forces. The number of times he says, I love Pakistan, I love Pakistan, I love Asim Munir, I love Pakistan. He's embarrassing himself. Just because, and I don't know, he should be investigated. Trump should be investigated. His family should be investigated on whether any of them were beneficiaries of any crypto deal with the Pakistanis. Is it true that Trump or anyone close to him has benefited or been involved in any crypto deal with Pakistan? That needs to be investigated. But here is the same man, Donald Trump, who said that the United States has been fooled by Pakistan. And he said in 2018 that the United States has foolishly given Pakistan more than $33 billion in aid, and Pakistanis have given us nothing but lies and deceit. And now he says, I don't know whether it's because of a business deal he or his family members have done, he says that there's no lies and deceit. We love Pakistan. Pakistan is a great country. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump was voted to power on the promise that he will take on radical Islamic terrorism. The people of America should know that he's in league with the radical Islamic terrorists right now. Here is a man who's a walking, talking compromise and a disaster. And ladies and gentlemen, on August 21, 2021, Trump said Pakistan has sheltered the same organizations that every day try to kill our people. We've been paying Pakistan billions and billions of dollars. At the same time, they are housing the very terrorists that we are fighting. How much did they ever give you, Mr. Trump, or people close to you, or companies close to you, or individuals close to you, that you changed your line today? Trump has done a U-turn on Pakistan. It's obvious to us. That's not our concern. The fact of the matter is that Trump is today sitting around and having lunch with the same people who gave protection to Osama bin Laden. The people of America should question Trump on what extent this man will go to compromise American national interest. The same people who carried out 9/11, the same people who supported those who carried out 9/11, the same organizations that worked with the Al-Qaeda are today being welcomed into the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just an embarrassing moment for the American people. It's a reality. Their president is in league with the backers of terrorism, and he's doing it officially. He doesn't give a damn for the American people. He doesn't give a damn for anyone beyond himself. Let's debate.
पाकिस्तान की कहानी अपने बच्चों को जो है आपने जरूर सुनानी है. We are different from the Hindus in every possible aspect of life. Our religion is different. Our customs are different. Our traditions are different. Our thoughts are different. Our ambitions are different. That was the foundation of the two-nation theory that was laid there. That we are two nations. We are not one nation.
This is the man who spewed venom just days before Pahalgam terror attack. The same man who orchestrated the massacre of unarmed innocent terrorists. And then there is President of United States, a man hungry for credit.
I will end the war in Ukraine, I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III from happening, and you have no idea how close we are. War between India and Pakistan. And I stopped it. I called each. I respect each leader greatly and know them. And I spoke to them, and I talked about trade. I said, but you're not trading with us if you're going to go to war, if you're going to start throwing nuclear weapons around. And I said it to both of them. Well, I'd love to avoid the conflict. Iran's going to have to negotiate a little bit tougher, meaning they're going to have to give us some things that they're not willing to give us right now.
If these statements prove something, it is that Trump cannot be trusted.
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप को स्पष्ट रूप से कहा कि इस पूरे घटनाक्रम के दौरान कभी भी किसी भी स्तर पर भारत अमेरिका ट्रेड डील या अमेरिका द्वारा भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच मध्यस्थता जैसे विषयों पर बात नहीं हुई थी.
US President Trump hosted Asim Munir on Wednesday.
The reason I had him here, I wanted to thank him for not going into the war, just, ending the war. And I want to thank, as you know, Prime Minister Modi just left, just a little while ago, just left. And we're working a trade deal with India. We're working a trade deal with Pakistan. And they were both here. But I was with Modi a few weeks ago. He was here, actually. But now we speak to him. And I'm so happy. There was a deal that two smart people, plus, they have people on their staff too, but two very smart people decided not to keep going with that war. That could have been a nuclear war. Those are two nuclear powers, big ones, big nuclear powers, and they decided not. So I was honored to meet him today.
A precedent so wrong that it contradicts Trump's own statements.
I addressed a summit of more than 50 Arab and Muslim leaders, a unique meeting in the history of nations, where key players in the region agreed to stop supporting terrorism, whether it be financial, military, or even moral support.
While Pakistan's terror ties are known globally, was Trump's decision a result of his obsession with Nobel Prize?
This is diplomatic rhetoric. It's not reality. Everyone sees Pakistan for what it is, except perhaps for Donald Trump. What sounds good in a situation room or a foreign ministry boardroom, conference room, doesn't necessarily make sense in reality. There is no way that Pakistan should be paid for cooperation or should be the recipient of any Iranian nuclear enriched material.
Trump Munir Bonhomi also exposes Pakistan's reality. Trump met Pakistan's Field Marshal, not the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. It's the biggest proof that Pakistan is not a democracy. While many of Trump's decisions are questionable, is it Trump's biggest mistake to stand with a terror nation?
Big panel, big issue. Some introductions. Ambassador Deepak Vora, the best-looking diplomat the world has produced. General Bakshi, General G.D. Bakshi is with us tonight. Saurabh Shukla, who, by the way, is not just the founder of News Mobile. I'm proud to say that he's also a consulting editor from Washington. Thank you, Saurabh, for consenting to that. Thank you. And David Sofair is a Republican from Washington, D.C. David, thank you. Anand Ahuja, Republican, co-founder, Indian Americans for Trump. Very pro-Trump. STA, Alexander Shajan, very pro-Trump, grassroots strategist, right? We have Randeep Chikara here, who moves between Delhi and Houston. He's a Republican supporter. He's MD of Insurance Solutions. And we've got a great face. His name is Vibhuti Jha. He's an ex-Republican candidate. But I'm told he's anti-Trump. So I'll start with him. How did that happen? When did that happen? Yeah, last I saw, he used to put out these videos, He puts out a lot of videos on YouTube. It's totally Trump. When did you change? Was it last night? Before or after the lunch with Asim Munir, or earlier? Vibhuti, start it off for us, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Arnab, for having me here. It's a wonderful panel. The most handsome diplomat ever produced. Deepak ji is a good friend. So is Anand, and so many people I know here. So I'm not anti-Trump. I'm still a Republican Party candidate, but I do look at things in a different perspective. There is a truth that you cannot deny. and that's where Trump has made a mistake, in my opinion, is to recall Hillary Clinton's statement when she was Secretary of State and visited Pakistan. She said that if you nurse snakes in your backyard, guess what they are going to do? And what has happened in this situation, it looks like the whole American deep state is hosting Pakistan and the same snakes in their own backyard. So guess what is going to happen to America as a country? This is an important lesson, and I'm totally against that. And we have a right to disagree with certain policies. The other element, I take the cue from the Pakistan's defense minister openly confessing in the national TV that, we have done the dirty job for America and the West for the last 30 years. To that, I coined the phrase in my conversation with Mr. Kanwal Sibal, the former foreign secretary, that Pakistan is behaving and has been acting as a courtesan of the West and America. So the courtesans of the world, as you know, their paramours, give them some concession at certain points in time. And that's what Pakistan has been doing. I call Pakistan a Napak nation, unabashedly, and I say that they are totally anti-India, anti-Hindu, and everything that is India. So Trump has made a mistake here. Let's also not forget one more thing, that Trump has been a remarkably unusual politician. He doesn't like wars. If you look at the Purva Paksh and Shatru Bodh of Trump, he's a builder developer. He builds golf courses, apartments, and complexes. He doesn't like war. So I had mentioned this, that Modi and Trump have a confluence of interests regarding terrorism. And now, by embracing Munir the way he has done, I'm reminded of Bill Clinton's statement when he gave interview to Larry King, when he said, politics is all about doing maneuverings, shifting from one lane to other to reach your ultimate goal. So I'm looking at it from this point of view, that he has brought Munir for some other purpose. The courtesan has demanded a particular concession from its paramour called America that equate me with India, whether in arms or whether in arms sales, or as an equation that hyphenate me back with India, because India has really gone past beyond everybody's expectations, both politically, diplomatically, economically. India is riding a different wave altogether. So in my humble opinion, what I feel, Mr. Trump has made a mistake, and I think I will stand by that, but I'm not anti-Trump, because I still believe that if in India we are able to tolerate Rahul Gandhi, the Lou of opposition parties, and we tolerate people like Stalin who talk about killing and decimating Sanatanis, all right, let's look at Trump's deviation from that point of view.
No, it would be difficult, Vibhuti. It would be difficult for a reason. It would be difficult. In any normal situation, I would have said, let's analyze it. He's not given him importance. He's sending a message to Shehbaz Sharif, blah, blah, blah. But the reason I'm not, and I think nobody in India is in a mood to look away, it was because this man, and I want to go to Deepak ji, but first to GD, this man is the butcher of Pahalgam.
Right.
And he knows that. Trump knows that. He sent his people to kill 27 innocent Indians, to shoot them in the head after trying to get them to read the Kalma. So it hits me. He knows that in our anger, we responded with Operation Sindoor, which is still continuing. So I think Trump is deliberately trying to provoke us. And I'm of the view we should pull back. We're a big country, we're a large economy. We do not need a trade deal with America. We won't die hungry. We won't stop eating. If we don't have a trade deal with America, they have more to lose. I say pull back now. Teach Donald Trump a lesson so he knows that this Indian sophistication does not last forever. General Bakshi, how do you read this meeting? And what is he trying to do, Trump?
Arnab, may I provide you a slightly different perspective, if you permit?
Yeah.
I have seen a number of reports emerging from the United States, especially in the YouTube channels, which seem to suggest that Donald Trump, the transactional president, is using Pakistan to put pressure on India to play ball. Don't forget that when Prime Minister Modi had gone to the United States, he had said that he was prepared to sell India 100 F-35 stealth 5th generation jet fighters. Right? We are yet to receive an official proposal, nuts and bolts proposal. But the simple fact is that even a cursory examination shows that it was mentioned to him that we will not kill our AMCA program, our homegrown program, that we would want to produce that fighter that we take into our Air Force in India, right? We would like to have the source codes. We would like to have transfer of technology. Otherwise, like the Rafales, we have suffered because we did not have the source code. We couldn't, fit our Astra BVR missiles onto the Rafale. We couldn't fit our BrahMos onto the Rafale. The Russians have given us the source codes. We could fire it from the Sukhoi 30Is. So we said, well, we'd like to go in for our own AMCA, and even if we have to go for a stopgap, just in case that takes time, I'm sure it will now be speeded up, but just in case that takes time and we have to deal with a Pakistan that has gotten the J-35 from China, is about to get, well, then we may have to buy 1 or 2 squadrons. But we would rather prefer the Russian Su-57. Look, the Russian Su-57, they are prepared to share technology, they are prepared to have manufacture in India, they are prepared to give us the source codes, they are prepared to share engine technology for the AMCA. Why should we not look after our own national interests? I think India will have to give a clear message. Look, you are making a mistake. You are not aware of the emotional baggage that is there between India and Pakistan at a time when Pakistan has caused a mass casualty terror strike in Pahalgam. You can't be so blase as to embrace that murderer.
Well, another view, General Bakshi, another view.
There is no difference between... there is no difference. Arnab, I'll just finish. There is no difference between Osama bin Laden and Mullah Munir. The only difference is he was mostly in a cave. This man lives in a palatial bungalow and he's got dreams of caliphate. We will disabuse him of these dreams shortly, and the visit to Donald Trump will not save this man from the wrath of India.
Well, I'm very happy that Modi snubbed him and said, I'm not coming. And by the way, how casual, Deepak Vora, that even to suggest, oh, you're in Canada, why don't you just swing by Washington? We'll catch up for a while, exactly on the same day that Asim Munir is called in. And then he says he's honored to meet Asim Munir. Funnily enough, Deepak Vora, some people think the best way to deal with Trump is to ignore him. But he keeps saying, I'm going to do a trade deal with Pakistan, or I'm going to do a trade deal with India. What trade deal can he have with an economy like Pakistan? Is he doing this all for a reaction?
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Pleasure to be with you.
Sir.
The world's favorite channel and the world's favorite anchor sitting right next to me.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
What have I done to deserve this? Thank you.
I say it with all sincerity. Before I begin, let me just tell you this beautiful jacket that I'm wearing. We have the technology. It's made out of recycled plastic.
Oh.
By an Indian company. The PET bottles that you throw away, it's made out of that. I'll get you one.
Is it inflammable?
I'm
just
told
so when you
not.
get angry. Okay.
I'm told it's not. There's no auto combustion in this. Now, as far as Mullah Munir is concerned, General Bakshi Sahab, I heard what you said about it. I'm not quite sure that he was invited there to say pleasant things to him. You know what Trump has done in the White House? There used to be a character called Zelensky. He did something. He did something to him in the White House. He did something to macaroni. He did something to the South African. I mean, he lets them have it. That's the first issue, and I'm not even... I really don't believe that it was a I love you, my sweetheart kind of thing. Oh, by the way, General Bakshi, should you be interested in the menu? Would you be interested in knowing?
Yes.
My sources have told me the menu was jihadi biryani, atanki dal, atamghati naan, katliana raita, visphotak wine, and huris ka halwa. That was what was offered to Mullah Munir in the White House at the lunch. He has been invited to be read the Riot Act and to be told, I need your bases because I'm going to clobber Iran. and I'm not going to send American troops in. You have a 900-kilometer border with Iran. Now put your bases back under my command. I'm going to fly out of there and beat the hell out of the Iranians. And if I need troops, your chaps will go, and for every Pakistani who gets killed, I'll give you $5. You're not worth more than
Will the Chinese allow that?
Oh, there's no question about it. The Chinese are not concerned. The Chinese don't care. I mean, if any Pakistani dies, you think anybody in the world cares? So that
but
is
the basis for now or for permanently?
I believe permanently the shadow has come in the relationship because Trump wants to take them away from Tingling. And Tingling is too busy with, ping pong's, whatever his name is. His intent, his priority is not Pakistan. His priority is Taiwan. I want Taiwan. Iran can go fly a kite. So he's going to focus
You take Iran, I take Taiwan.
Precisely. Thank you very much. And there's this other guy called Vladimir Putin, you've heard of him, who said, you leave Ukraine to me, I'll build a buffer zone there and you do what you want with Iran. I believe this trilateral...
So you take parts of Ukraine, I take parts of Iran, and China takes Taiwan.
And China takes Taiwan, and Israel sits back and laughs all the way to the bank. Believe that is...
Where does India stand in all this?
Oh, India is going to sit back and watch. Now, sir, let me just tell you about the conversation that would have... I've done 7 or 8 such conversations between heads of government, heads of state. What would have happened, the call would came in from Trump. Prime Minister would have said, hello. He would have said, hello. I don't know what the conversation was, but it normally goes like this. Mr. President, thank you for your interest in our area, but we don't accept mediation. And then the whole thing about Operation Sindoor. And he would also have said, Mr. President, thank you for your most gracious invitation to visit Washington, but I have a prior commitment in Croatia. So I'm sorry, I'll have to pass on that. But of course, I'm looking forward to welcoming you in India for the Quad Summit. Now, what do you expect Trump to say? Yes, of course, I'm looking. It was a master stroke by the Prime Minister to get the Foreign Secretary to do the readout before Trump would have said, I told this and that and the other. And by the way, sir, I understand that if there is a peace deal between Israel and Iran, I'm told a certain Mr. Arnab Goswami is responsible for it, and I'll nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize. You can tweet that. Keep your tweet ready before Trump claims credit for that peace deal.
Why is he doing this moral equivalence between India and Pakistan? To say two very smart people decided not to keep going on with war, that could have been a nuclear war. What is this?
He lives in an echo chamber. No, he doesn't listen. He hears other people. He doesn't listen to them. We know this. He's narcissistic.
Can I come in, Arnab?
Yeah, David.
Yeah, please. Thank you very much for having me, Arnab, and it's great to see everybody on the panel. Greetings. I quite agree with some of your points there from the Indian perspective. At the end of the day, this was a very strategic launch, and there was a lot of consequence on there as well. President Trump and the administration literally read him the Riot Act. We are the party of peace through strength and democracy, and diplomacy dies in darkness. And not having these conversations is not only bad for the United States, but it's also very bad for our partners in India, and it's also exceptionally bad with the whole Iran conflict that is happening now. There's a contagion effect because of the border there. So we need these people in line at the moment and moving forward. So, there is peace on the table with India at the moment and the Pakistanis. What's happened in the past for America and India, respectively, is not pretty. But overall, this was a positive thing. It was a strong thing, and it's strengthening the great nation of America with Indian interests as well.
No, he's not. No, there's a complete disagreement between Indian interests and American interests right now. I think that Trump has been deliberately trying to target India. He's deliberately trying to support radical Islamic terrorism.
They're going to be very quiet. I think they're going to be very quiet from here on out, because if they would like to do that under Trump's watch, that's not going to happen. I mean, you can see what happens to the regime in Iran. The Pakistanis are looking at that as well, and they're saying, hey, if we play around, we're going to be on the same boat, not just through sanctions, but they're going to take him out, and it doesn't take that long. So let's be clear here. The Pakistanis have taken that into account.
No, but then just one minute. David, let me go to Anand Ahuja and Alexander Shajan also, and Randeep, of course, to you. You see, Trump is now one of the biggest supporters of radical Islamic terrorism. He said during his election rally, which Anand supported and Alexander supported, he said that when I return to office, we will put a travel ban on countries that export radical Islamic terrorism. The number one country in the world, Anand, that exports, incubates radical Islamic terrorism by becoming the place that gives refuge for the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen, all these groups is Pakistan. I do not understand how you can support that. And I don't understand how, I've come to you right after him, why you feel that's not an issue.
Arnab, first of all, you have to understand that India is member of Quad and India is member of I2, U2 also. So, and India is number 4th economy in the world. So our relationship with the United States, they are on permanent basis, whereas the United States relationship with Pakistan is purely on a temporary basis, a need basis. If I am permitted
How long
to
does
use
the word temporary last? 1 month, 2 months?
Hold on, please, hold on. If India's relationship with the United States is of husband and wife, USA's relationship with Pakistan is of girlfriend.
India's relationship with the United States of husband and wife, I think you should take all these statements back. We're not in a conjugal relationship of any kind with America. Let me tell you one clear thing. No, I do not think. There is no. See, these are global relationships that cannot be described in loose terms. I take objection to your attempt to try to create this narrative. My point is, you are supporting a country that has carried out the greatest acts of terrorism against us, and you're doing it less than 2 months after Pahalgam.
But
Randeep, 2 months after Pahalgam.
But the biggest question is...
Randeep.
The biggest question is, I've been hearing this discussion and I've been reading about a meeting that has happened. All of you are very senior. You all understand that lunch meeting in diplomacy is not serious. Lunch meeting without agenda, without talking point, without media is the most disrespectful thing you can do to anyone.
There was a formal meeting before lunch.
Arnab,
there was a one-to-one meeting, official meeting before lunch.
Indians actually should be very happy every time a general goes to Pakistan. First time Ziaul Haq went, he hollowed Pakistan. Then you have Musharraf going in 2000, hollowed Pakistan again. Those were actually leaders. They replaced a civil government. They were head of the state. Munir is a nobody. If he goes, what are they talking to him about? World peace? No. They are maybe talking to him about, hey, where are the minerals in Balochistan? They could be talking to him about, what did you say about Iran? Are you going to support him? Are you going to go against Israel? Right? What are you talking about? Maybe they were talking about investment in crypto.
You're trying very hard. You're trying very hard.
I'm not trying very hard.
Randeep, one minute. Randeep, you are trying very hard. And I think Saurabh will also try very hard to downplay this.
I will not.
One. Who's coming in? That's Alexander Shajan wants to come in. Saurabh, after Alexander. Yeah. Alexander?
Let me tell you something. Everybody who is supporting, I'm still proud to be a pro-Trump. But if there is something he's mistaking something, if he's wrong on something, I will definitely call out. But in this, you just cannot say because of Munir had a lunch with Trump. Trump is trying to betray India. Trump is trying to provocate India. No, that is not true. That is absolutely not true. So we need to see it as like, let me ask you this, how many Pakistani descendant Americans are there in the Trump administration? And how many Indian descendant Americans are there in the Trump administration?
So it actually goes against your point. You said that Munir is getting a special treatment when there is no Pakistani in his administration. How is this any different than PM Modi talking to Zelensky and Putin?
Can I tell you one thing, guys? Can I tell you one thing, guys? When 1 minute, just 1 minute. Please, let's not be naive here. When Trump visited the India one of these times recently, there was a state lunch, and I was sitting on a table, and there was Kash Patel sitting next to me, I think. And I can tell you, Kash Patel is not a representative of India's interests. So please don't play the Indian origin card out here. Trump has not done India a favor by taking people of Indian origin. I am not among those who will think that Satya Nadella will represent Indian interests. He will not. So we should stop being sentimental about it. I see this as a deliberate act of provocation. I think the entire American administration, Saurabh knows, this is an attempt at provoking India. And we ought to be provoked. We ought to be provoked. But if this doesn't provoke us, I don't know what will.
No, but how is this different than...
We should learn to give it back. We should learn to give it back to these Americans. I'm sorry, this whole feeling of America is our long-term friend, it's not. America is not our long-term friend. You need to treat our Prime Minister with respect. You do not tell our Prime Minister, can you just fly by Washington on the day I'm meeting Asim Munir? And repeat 11 times when our Prime Minister has said we do not and will never accept mediation, to deliberately keep mentioning it because you're obsessed with the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, and to accept Munir's nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize.
And then invited him for lunch.
Yeah, and he will even take Hafiz Saeed's nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. Trump is absolutely shameless right now.
Arnab, but I'm sorry, any different than PM Modi meeting Zelensky and Putin?
Just one. Anand, let me tell you, you keep mentioning India's relationship with the United States. Can I say something to you? Please remember, all respect to you, but the country you are in has a $38 trillion debt. Okay, you're reeling under debt. One. B, we are a large economy. We'll soon be the third largest economy. America has no choice but to deal with us.
But
we are not Turkey.
But Arnab, you are forgetting why Pakistan was created. The very fact Pakistan was created because Western countries, they wanted to have their army bases there. They knew that India is pro-Soviet
Some
Union.
long-winded theory on that.
India will never allow them to have their army bases there. So they had no option but to create Pakistan, and religion became just an excuse.
Right, they are respectful. Before meeting Munir,
religion was a tool.
President Trump had a call with Modi ji. Maybe out of research.
Army bases there to counter Soviet Union.
Okay, Saurabh.
So you have to go back to the history.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
With a different perspective. I'll tell you what, Arnab, if you recall, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to Washington, D.C., I asked President Trump and Prime Minister a question about who's a better negotiator, who's a tougher negotiator. President Trump's answer was Prime Minister Modi is a tougher negotiator, right? He proved that by making sure when President Trump asked him politely to come to Washington, D.C., Prime Minister completely, and politely declined. That was a tough negotiation on India's part. India is very clear that it will stand and promote its self-interest. While India values relationship with the US, it will also tell Mr. President, thank you, but we will not go beyond wherever our national interest intersects beyond our concerns. So in this case, let me tell you what happened in White House yesterday. Asim Munir, while he was called at this time, it's grossly insensitive. I agree. As a friend of India, President Trump shouldn't have done that. In fact, President Trump is on record. The same visit which you were talking about, I asked him a question specifically in Delhi on Pakistan-sponsored terrorism, and his answers was very different. So what changed the tack? Yesterday, Asim Munir walked inside White House, not in a car, which most world leaders do when they are accorded a lunch. He was walking from the side office of the president, which is the executive office of the president of the United States, like a normal visitor would do. Certainly, that's not a protocol which is befitting either Pakistan's so-called field marshal.
But he's not a head of state, so I don't know what great thing Trump has done. He's not a head of government. He's not a head of state. He's not even what Yahya Khan was. He's not what Ziaul Haq was. He's not what Pervez Musharraf was. You're overplaying this car thing. No, you're overplaying the car thing, Saurabh. Come on.
India's standpoint, he was read the Riot Act. He was told very clearly that the concern.
How was he read the Riot Act, Saurabh? How was he read the Riot Act when Donald Trump? One minute, Saurabh, let me come in. Listen, Saurabh, I like you, but you're like trying to find a needle in a haystack. After the meeting, This Donald Trump fellow says, I was honored to meet him. He said, I was honored to meet him. He says, I was honored to meet him.
You have covered diplomacy as I have. Our relationship with the US is far deeper, and I can tell you, this one meeting with Asim Munir does not define US-India partnership. Today, India is strong, US is realizing this, and US deals with India on its own terms. It is not, yes, it's insensitive. I'm repeating it.
Arnab, I have to comment.
I'm sorry, but one minute. General Bakshi, before you come in, I want to just say one thing out here to Saurabh, listen. Listen. Please don't mind, but I'll tell you something. You can wake up a man who's sleeping, but you can't wake up a man who's pretending to be asleep. You are pretending to be asleep tonight. See, during Operation Sindoor, May 10th, who did Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, speak to? Shehbaz Sharif or Asim Munir? Asim Munir. Who gets promoted to Field Marshal after that on the 20th of May? Asim Munir. Right? Who meets Donald Trump for lunch? Asim Munir. Who discusses trade with Donald Trump? Asim Munir. Who does Trump thank for ending the war from Pakistan's side? Asim Munir. Who does Trump say he's honored to meet? Asim Munir. I know we have deep relationships with America, but we are going to have those relationships as a great power on our terms. Anand, learn to protest against this behavior. You must learn to protest. Break away from the Republican Party. Forget your political interests.
Pakistan history, if you see, army chief is more powerful than the
I'm sorry. Anand, you guys are all putting this theory. Oh, listen, don't take Trump seriously. He's only Trump. Ye aise hi baat karta hai. Fact of the matter is, Trump knows exactly what he's saying. He's referring to both Asim Munir and Prime Minister Narendra Modi as being extremely influential in halting the conflict. I want to know, how is he drawing an equivalence between a military general and an elected leader of the world's largest democracy? How dare he? And we're all going to sit down and say, oh, we have a deep and abiding interest in a relationship, we have a lot of business relations, blah, 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 so we should just sit together and do nothing.
Pakistan is in a total mess. But for India,
then why is he doing it?
For India,
General Bakshi.
For India, Narendra Modi ji is the Prime Minister of India.
Okay, then let him do his trade deal with Pakistan. We don't want it.
Thank you.
We don't want it. Let him do a trade deal with Pakistan.
Thank you.
General Bakshi.
Arnab, I'd like to point out that the timing of this is insensitive and horrible. We've just had the Pahalgam massacre. 26 innocent Indians slaughtered. Headshots after being asked their religion, after being asked to recite the Kalma. We've had that, and just before that, Mullah Munir gave his Huntington-esque rant on the clash between the Hindu and the Muslim civilizations, right? We've fought a war. It was a 4-day war. We all had wished it had lasted a little longer, so we could have shoved a BrahMos cruise missile up the air vent of Munir's bunker. We will do it the next time. But in ignoring the emotional baggage, the heavy emotional baggage between India and Pakistan, I think Donald Trump has made a major faux pas. A major faux pas. The timing of it is most insensitive and most horrible. It is designed to hurt feelings in India. I hope he knows that. It will be very counterproductive to Indo-American relations in the long term. If you want to choose between India and Pakistan, the choice is yours. Here is a failed state which can't give 2 square meals to its people. And they are being put on the same pedestal as India. I'm sorry, we are not amused. We are not amused.
And we don't want a trade deal with this kind of a country. We don't need a trade deal. I say we say no to the trade deal.
America's interest better.
We freeze trade talks till the strategic balance is restored.
To have any trade relationship with United States. Are you making a statement on behalf of government of India?
No, of course I'm not. I mean, are you out of your mind? Why would I say, am I under any presumption that I represent the government of India? I'm saying individually, as a free-thinking Indian citizen and as the editor-in-chief of the largest news network in the country, it is my view that America, which keeps trying to hyperlink trade and diplomacy, trade and strategic interests, should also know that if our strategic interests are hit, we too can use that card. Deepak Vora, that's all I'm saying. It is not a unilateralism America's side. By the way, you want to do a deal with Pakistan, go ahead and do it. Your whole goods exports to Pakistan are 2 billion. Your robust trade relationship with India is 131 billion. You choose. We tell them you choose.
Well, it's not possible.
You choose.
It is not possible. Mr.
If it is not possible,
it is not possible. We all know that is not possible.
Let him
To have a permanent trade freeze or
No. You want to use India as a strategic counter to China by engaging us in the Quad. You want to say that we want to have India to balance the Indo-Pacific. We want India to be part of the United States strategic framework for the Indo-Pacific. You want us to counter a rising China. Then you better understand we have our strategic interests too. And I do expect our government to stand up for our strategic interests. Come on. This is not. Okay,
economy in the world. We support that. We don't want a clash.
Well, let me tell you, unlike you, I don't believe that, please, unlike you, I'm not romanticizing Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Ajay Banga or Shantanu Narayan to be representative of India's strategic interests. They are there on their merit, but they have nothing to do with our government's position. And don't give me this fondness about American fondness for Indians. Right now, what have you done? 2 months after Pahalgam, you called the mastermind in and called him a great man.
Arnab, it's a temporary arrangement.
Temporary arrangement. There's nothing temporary, sir. 1 minute. Deepak Vora, please be my guest.
I just wanted to say that this is the relationship with the romance with Pakistan. The romance is not going to last very long. The target is Iran. Let's assume for a moment Iran collapses, the Ayatollah runs away, etc., etc. Pakistan will be left in the cold. He doesn't care. His interest is Iran, sir. What Pakistan... You think he loves the jihadis of Pakistan? Not at all. He doesn't love Mullah Munir. He calls him, publicly says great things, privately takes his pants off. Sorry, he didn't take his pants off or he did?
So I agree with Deepak.
I'm not.
But what I would like to add to what Deepak has said is, it is very clear for last 50 years, the U.S. relationship with Pakistan is transactional.
That's right.
U.S. relationship with America, with India is strategic. Look at the kind of conversations we are having. Is there a tie-up happening around technology? Is there a long-term strategy around naming an ocean? Is there Quad? Is there deeper relationship? And I don't understand, maybe, like I wanted to make this point. Modi ji had a conversation with Putin and Zelensky. Modi ji is having a conversation with Iran and Israel. Right? I'm not saying it is same, because Pakistan is not. But Pakistan had a 50-year bad or good transactional relationship with America, and this guy wanted to meet. He didn't even get a proper, we don't even know whether lunch was served. We are assuming.
Exactly.
Deepak is saying there was a food, but that's your assumption that they got the food, right? But if you look at, is he respected? Maybe he's called to take his statement about Iran back. Maybe he has been called to open the borders with Iran for U.S. forces. Nobody knows, because the relationship is transactional. The relationship is not strategic. I think America was partner with India 50 years back, 25 years back. It would be a partner to India. I think Modi ji is respected by people of America and by leaders of America across Democrats and Republicans. This is the second administration. So I have not seen, and I believe that the administration is firmly behind India. I think over a period of time, we'll realize why this half lunch was done in Washington. And I don't think it's alignment with Pakistan. I agree that timing was bad. I agree it looks bad for India and for world peace. But I don't think this is...
I put it this way. I think all of you are doing a great job of trying to convince yourself that this is not a big deal. But I think you asked.
No, we are not trying to convince.
I think today you are out of touch. You are out of sync with the reality in this country. And Vibhuti, though you're not here, I can tell you this: you ask anyone in India today, and they're extremely angry at the way Trump has been dealing with India. And this is he is not showing enough respect. He is not showing enough respect.
I would like to thank you very much.
He shows Russia more respect than he shows India.
It is a big deal.
Yes, I want to say something here very important.
Sorry,
This is very important for everybody to bear. You are totally right that the sentiment in India is totally against what Trump's behavior, which is what I said in my opening statement. I do not support his behavior in this particular instance the way it has happened, the way it is happening. Jokes aside, and realities aside, the perception of the reality is also very important. For India, Trump ought to have realized, and the United States must realize, India was seeking and wanted some kind of a reliability in relationship. What Trump has done with this behavior is made America unreliable again. That's my problem. The bonhomie that was
what he's done is he's made India
is kind of gone. And from the Indian perspective,
absolutely.
I totally agree. Pakistan is an element, a point of no return for India. And I'm very happy that government of India and the people of India have conveyed that. At the same time, I would also urge, let's not get too sentimental. I combine two words, sentimental and emotional, about international diplomacy, because you cannot afford to get sentimental. View the reality the way it is, and let's wait for it.
So we have to handle that, okay? So, and we had a very, very productive meeting with the Pakistanis, and that should be seen as a good thing. So now I feel like they're going to be very, very quiet for a very, very long time. So let's call a spade here. This is a matter of global security, okay, world security. You got Iran. It's a huge nemesis. They share a 800-mile border. So this meeting was imperative for America and also for Indian safety as well. So we care about our partners in India in a very, very big way. And this should be seen as a positive thing because we are suppressing the evil that we know. It's not the evil. The evil you know is better than the evil that you don't know. And look at the Iranians. That was a great thing. They had 60 days to come to the table to make a deal. They decided not to. Now they're paying the piper. So we are the party of safety. Let's be very, very clear here, of safety. And they weren't exchanging pleasantries at that lunch. They were reading them the right acts. And that's it. So, we can sit back here and talk about the nuances and speculation about borders and what's happened in the past. Sure, I get that. It's not pretty. It hasn't been a good thing. I see your points as well.
No, I don't think you do. David, let me tell you. David, let me say this. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, David, with some respect. You also need to understand the condition of your country. I know you may want to have a grasshopper's view of things. I think you should have a bird's eye view of things sometimes. See, please let me explain this to you. Your country is in shambles. There are riots everywhere. Your state and federal governments are at war. You have a 38 trillion debt. You should behave better with the people across the world and with world leaders. You cannot present yourself as a country without an ideology, without values, without respect for other nations, and attempt to be a global bully, because you are in no condition. Whether you like it or not, you'll have to accept it. You are in no condition. Allow me to complete now, David. I heard you. This is the problem with you Americans. The moment someone gives it back to you, you don't want to listen, then you'll switch off your internet connection. You will have to hear it from me, and you'll have to listen quietly, because listen, let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing, please, David. Let me tell you one thing. You know, David, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me, David. Listen to me. Listen to me, David. Listen to me. Yeah, the point is this, that if you believe we are not noticing your helplessness, we are. Why did you shake hands with a terrorist turned president in Syria? Because the Saudis told you to. So you will also deal with genocidal dictators like Asim Munir as long as your president gets a rented private jet to fly on. or even a Nobel Prize nomination in turn. You are being globally seen. You're being globally seen, most unfortunately for you, as a quid pro quo administration. I still do not know what your president's crypto deal is. See, you don't want to hear these things because you want to live in a la-la land where everything is good and people look at things from your perspective. You're taking on more than you can chew. Let me tell you, the days of American hegemony are over.
So, definitely.
You know, your president must learn to behave well.
What's that?
Your president must learn to behave well with the rest of the world.
We are doing a great job, and he's behaving through peace and strength, and that's it. So why
did he have lunch with? Why did he also shake hands with the Syrian terrorist turned president? Why did he do that? The most wanted man with a $210 million bounty on his head is sitting dressed in a suit and sitting with him. Don't you feel ashamed of that?
At the moment there is peace in the region. So that's not bad.
You're not answering my question.
It's temporary.
You're not answering what's temporary.
So he's meeting.
So the relarelationship with the Syrian dictator is temporary. Sorry, General Bakshi, the relationship with Syria is temporary, is it? Is it temporary?
The whole. I mean, who knows if it's temporary or not? We'll have to see how it unfolds.
Arnab,
in the meantime, that's the strategic border town. So, we're about to have this huge regime change in Iran. So
regime change? Who are you to carry out regime change? Why do you want to carry out regime change? Aren't you embarrassed talking like that?
Well, sure, because they're going to be a nuclear power. So they have a nuclear enrichment program.
This is the attitude. We are about to carry out regime change, as if you have the right to do it.
Arnab.
Hey, look.
You're in verbal and intellectual quicksand right now. You can't get out of it. You're stuck, David.
No, stuck.
You can't extricate yourself of the horrible things you just said. Chidi Bakshi.
We're in a strong place, and we're
Richard Haas has said, regime change is a hope, a dream, not a strategy. It is for the people of Iran to choose the regime that they want. No regime can be foisted from outside, and if it is, it will always end up in tragic consequences. We've seen those consequences in a number of other states, starting with Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya. Right? Now, apropos that issue, I come back to the issue of the timings. We've just fought a 4-day war. It was a war much shorter than the Indian people had perhaps hoped for, because we wanted to do far more damage after we had gained air superiority, the way Israel is doing. Right? For some reason, we stopped, but I'm sure it's not over. It could flare up again. Please get that right.
This man has a profound anti-Hindu agenda. He wants to carry out a Hindu genocide. And a president wants to sit together with a man who wants to carry out a Hindu genocide, and Anand Ahuja will support that.
No, but
I mean, I don't know.
Nobody's supporting any of that.
I'm sorry to say, don't accuse me for that, okay? You don't know me, don't accuse me for that.
No, Anand Ahuja, Asim Munir wants to carry out a Hindu genocide. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? How can you tolerate him sitting with your president?
I am not attacking you. I am not attacking you. No personal attack.
No personal attack, but I would say, what's personal about it? Anand Ahuja, I will say it again to you. You don't like me saying it? Asim Munir wants to carry out a Hindu genocide. Why are you taking a comment on Asim Munir personally on yourself?
No, you don't.
You don't want me to say the truth,
you
is it?
Know my background.
I should. No. I'm not interested in your background. I'm saying Asim Munir wants to carry out a Hindu genocide. Why is that triggering you?
I am not supporting. I am not supporting Munir. I am not supporting any.
I'll tell you.
You want the Hindu vote, and you want the Hindu vote in America. You want the Hindu vote. You want to sit together with a man who wants to carry out a Hindu genocide.
Why you are saying you? Why you are saying you?
Why should I not say Hindu? Are they not a Hindus for America group? Because you're an American, you're not a Hindu.
Allow me.
Of course you're a Hindu.
Even in the Republican Party, there are certain lawmakers who are very upset. In fact, there is a bipartisan bill that has been introduced in the US House to censure Asim Munir.
No, but Saurabh, he won't let, for anti-Semitism, you won't get an American visa. But you're having lunch with a man who is Hindu-phobic and wants to carry out a Hindu genocide.
Arnab, I want to bring to the notice of this panel.
I don't know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on that rather unhappy note, I will end the debate tonight with a promise to see you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।